Namaste. Welcome to this week's yin practice. Today is May 25th, and the energies have been pretty intense this week. Yesterday, we had a legend pass away, Tina Turner. I don't know if you know the story about Tina Turner, but I read a book of hers a number of years ago. And it was a phenomenal book talking about her history, how she met Ike, how she got into singing and performing, and how treacherous and abusive her relationship was with him, especially in the beginning of her career. You know, she was the highlight of the show, she was the star of the show, but yet he controlled everything, even her money. There was one point, I believe she was in Memphis, don't quote me on that, but she had just been abused by him yet again. She had less than $1 in her pocket, and she got out of his way. She got out of his control and ran from him and sought help. And, you know, she probably thought that was going to be the end of her career, but she did have a comeback. And she was massively huge in the late 70s and 80s, and even continued throughout her career. She landed in Europe, fell in love. It was love at first sight. She ended up moving to Switzerland and lived there. But you may not know this about her, and this is what I want to share. She got into Buddhism when she escaped from her captive. She met someone who was into Buddhism. She got into mantra practices, and she actually did a couple albums where it was based on sutras and mantras that she was singing and reciting. And she even did one for children. I believe it was something like planting the seeds of mindfulness. And you can hear her singing and hear children singing back to her, kind of like a kirtan. It's kind of that call and response. And right now, my father has landed back in the hospital. He broke his hip last week, and he's already in bad shape from his stroke a few years ago. And obviously, this is going to be a really big recovery for him because he's not really strong. And right now he can only sit up. And most people going through the type of surgery that he just went through are up on their feet and moving. And he's not even capable of doing that right now. He's had a couple bad nights, throwing up, stopped up. You know, he's had a bowel movement in 6 days. And the family had to alert the doctor to be like, okay, whatever you're giving him is not working. Give him a suppository or something. So he's very weak. He's very pale. And basically, I'm bringing this up because death is a natural part of life. And even though it's a natural step, I know enough psychics and mediums and have done enough spiritual work and research to discover that all of us have different exit points. And our soul has the ability to practice free will. And sometimes what blocks people from crossing or taking that exit point could be intoxication and not really being in their body to make that conscious choice, even though they're suffering. Some people suffer so much physically and from so much trauma, whether that's physical, emotional, spiritual, or otherwise, that they're actually hanging outside of their body. When you're on drugs or alcohol or things like that, you're not really in your body. And we have to be in our body in order to make that conscious choice. So even though this is really difficult for my family, and I do not want anything bad to happen to my father, I realize this is clearly an exit point, and he can choose it or not. That's up to him. it's hard facing those realities, and I've been crying a lot this morning. But what I want us to do today when we go into the practice, I wish I could play a couple songs from you from that album that I was just mentioning from Tina Turner. I'm going to say the mantra to you. I want us to be contemplative on these lyrics, even though we're not going to be listening to the song. You're welcome to look it up. I believe they call it the peace mantra, but more than that, it's Sarvasham Swatir Bharvantu. And that means, may there be well-being for all. The second line is Sarvasham Shantir Bharvantu, and it means, may there be peace for all. Sarvasham Purnam Bharvantu means, may there be fulfillment for all. Sarvasham Mangalam Bharvantu, may there be auspiciousness for all. And then it's Om Shanti, 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 Om peace, peace, peace. So I want us to begin our practice with that mantra in mind. May there be well-being for all. May there be peace for all. May there be fulfillment for all. May there be auspiciousness for all. Om peace, peace, peace. We'll meet you on the mat. So what we're going to start off with today is sitting on a bolster, getting the spine erect, hands resting on the lap, and closing the lids of the eyes. And just take a moment to feel your sits bones rooting down, and the crown of your head rising towards the heavens above. Gaze in and up to your mind's eye, and I want you to imagine a column of light shining in front of your spine. Imagine it going through the center of your body. And this is what we call the hara line, or the astral spine. Included within the astral spine are the chakras, each of the energy centers, but instead of segmenting them out into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I want you to imagine that light, including them all. And as you take a few deep breaths in and out through the nose, activate this light with your will, with your intention. And then try to imagine almost like a lightning bolt coming down from the sky, shooting down through the crown, through the hara line, and sending that electricity all the way down into the soil below. And imagine it has like a vacuum effect from the earth, pulling the light down, cleansing out your energy field, cleansing your hara line. And sitting with this light emanating from within, bring your hands to prayer position at your heart, affirming once more, may there be well-being for all. May there be peace for all. May there be fulfillment for all. And may there be auspiciousness for all. Om peace, peace, peace. Let's go ahead and set the fingertips down to the earth. Inhale, fly the right arm skyward. Exhale, lean over to one side. Now that you're in the side bend, take your hand to the back side of your head and slowly begin to roll the shoulder open, pivoting the heart center skyward. We're going to be doing some work with the shoulders, the neck, and the hips today, as well as the hamstrings. Inhale, bring yourself back up, and exhale, lower the hand. Inhale, fly the left arm skyward. Exhale, prop onto the right palm. Curving over to one side, being here a moment. Good warm up before we go any deeper. Open up that channel of breath and cup a hold of the back side of your head with your hand. And then slowly peel the heart open. Inhale, bring yourself back up, and exhale, lower the hand. All right, what we're going to be doing here, I'm going to separate the bolster away at this point. I would like us all to fold up a blanket or use a toss pillow, especially if you notice that your tailbone tucks and you tend to round and it's hard to hinge. We're going to use this to stack our sits bones on top. The left leg will move off to the side and the right foot will draw in towards the pubic bone. Now, I'm going to approach this the yin way, which is about softening the muscles. So inhale, elongate the spine. Exhale, walk the hands forward and out. This is going to not only target the hamstrings, but the inner thigh. Those adductor muscles that can either adduct or abduct the leg closer or away from the midline. Now, if you wanted to use props, you could stack your arms on blocks or a bolster. You could have a bolster standing up under your brow. You may even be able to plop lower to the floor. Either way, be in the pose and control your breath. So you want to find your edge or close to your edge as far as the stretch goes. And then opening up the breath of life is important so that you're not so fixated on the sensation. Slowly begin to back our way out of that position, and we're going to walk over to the left, framing the leg with the hands. And then what I want you to really notice is how we're getting a nice twist through the belly and the back. Feel free to spill over and round down if you have healthy discs. Allow your breath to maintain a state of calm as well as a state of presence. Let's bring the left arm to the inside of the leg. Take that right arm, sweep it out, and maybe looking toward that hand if it doesn't strain your neck. And then we're going to turn that thumb down and we're going to thread the arm and loop it behind the back, but we're not going to complete it here unless you need to be in the more active form. If it's okay to drape the head and become more limp, that's what you're going to do. You're going to spill your head towards the shoulder where your face is still spun out. But then I want you to test the waters here and slowly roll the chin and the face to look down. And at some point on that path, maybe it was where you began, maybe it was some juncture along the way, or the finale where you experienced more tightness or tension. And you're going to pause there and rest your eyes. Remember, working the shoulders is in essence helping to work and open up the heart center. But the shoulders are in close relationship with the neck and the throat, which has a close relationship to the jaw and mouth. So if your two rows of teeth are gritting together, separate them. And you may even want to part your lips. This way you can loosen the jaw, which holds, I've heard, one of the strongest joints in the body. Affirming as you hold left and right and all around, life's harmonies are mine. So I know I mentioned this could potentially be an exit point for my father. The stroke in 2019 could have been a potential exit point for my father, and he may still be around for 10 more years. So again, we have a little bit of say-so as humans to practice free will. One thing that I've learned from my spiritual seeking is that some people, due to fear, are scared to let go, are scared to cross over, are scared about that transition. And usually this is due to dogmatic beliefs. But as a reminder, we've been told over and over again, there's nothing to fear. Even those who have had a near-death experience and come back, they have no fear about it. In fact, they're usually sad because they came back and look forward to the return. Now let's slip that right hand down and slowly bring the spine back to vertical. Right? We're going to do that same sequence to the other side. So it's okay to lean your weight back into your hands in order to swap the legs. You just want to make sure that you're coming back to the top of the sits bones and that you can get that little pelvic tilt forward, even if you're just stacked to your hands here, right? Because I can feel the stretch in my hamstrings just with this little bit of leeway. But then you want to explore where is your personal edge of flexibility. And it's okay if you're being truly yin to be just shy of that point since we're holding it for an extended period. Close your eyes. Stay embedded, grounded in your body. Affirming as you hold, I accept everything that comes my way as an opportunity for more growth. So sometimes with those near-death experiences, it wasn't their time, even if they wanted to remain and they weren't given a choice, because there was something that was part of their soul contract or mission that they hadn't quite fulfilled. I accept everything that comes my way as an opportunity for more growth. Your next in breath, we'll slowly start to back our way out. And then we're going to turn the upper body towards the straight leg, walk the hands alongside it, and basically doubling back down. Keeping a straight back if you need to, flexed ankle if you need it to be active, or soften the foot, knee, quads, core, and round down. We're going to walk the right arm to the inside of the right leg. We're going to take that left arm out and up. We're going to turn that thumb down. Sink the hand behind the back. Turning the face out at first. Drooping the head next. And then again, explore. How is it to the neck with the face turned out versus spilling it down? Hold in the place where you feel like you need it the most. Slowly slip that hand down. Feel the vertebrae back up. Now we're going to come up to stand. So you may want to move that blanket off to the side. We're going to come up to stand at the top of the mat. We're going to separate the feet almost as wide. And we're going to pull the belly in and softly bend the knees. The left arm's going to cross over towards the right leg. And we're slowly going to pour down. What we're trying to engage here, or to stretch here rather, is the QL muscle in the left side of the low back. You may even feel that pull coming close to that SI joint or that dimple area alongside the spine. And we're all going to stop at a different point, so don't measure it by where I'm hovering. Measure it according to your experience in your body. I have a tendency to kind of turn my hips, and I'm trying to keep them square, so my right arm's kind of resting on the right thigh. Just making sure I'm not spinning that area. But you're also welcome to hang both arms freely. All right, we're going to pull in through the left side of the abdominals, and we're going to roll up with that left shoulder. And then eventually the head will come up last, and then we'll take that to the other side. So again, you're hinging from the hips, you have a soft bend in the knees. The right arm is going to drape over towards the left leg. The head is going to hang, and you're just slowly rolling it down. Allowing gravity to assist. It's not about touching the toes, by the way. In fact, if you go that far, you're kind of missing the point. Squeeze into the right side of the abdominals, slowly roll it up, leading with the right shoulder. And eventually coming up to stand, we'll step the feet closer together. We're going to hinge from the hips again, soft bend in the knees. We're coming down into dangling pose. Now, I just want my arms to hang free today, but you're welcome to cup a hold of your elbows or forearms. I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time measuring how long to stay in these poses with this root chakra. Uh, if you feel like staying in some of these poses longer, feel free to pause the video. That root chakra goes back to our foundation, our conditioning, our family of origin. So I think that's why I'm a little off with it today, for good reason. All right, let's step the feet back to plank. Stacking on the hands, creating some structure through the body. Now we're going to land to the knees. And we're going to sit back like child's pose, but instead of keeping the hand shoulder distance apart, we're actually going to bring the elbows a little closer, palms to prayer, and lift them up. So it's a prayerful child's pose. So you may feel the stretch through the side strips of the arms. How it's lengthening and opening the upper part of the back. How it's stretching the fronts of the feet and the ankles. We're also saturating the hips. All right, we're going to separate the hands. Rock up, up dog. Exhale, extended child's pose, active. Inhale, rock forward, up dog. Exhale, back, extended child's pose. Inhale again, up dog. Exhale to child's pose. Walk the hands in, build up to standing Vajrasana, check in to see if you need extra padding. Left hand to the low back, right arm reaches up, camel. And then we're gonna swap, right hand to the low back, left arm skyward, arch back. Good, continue, 2 more rounds to each side. When you're ready, from that camel, you're gonna spill over to child's. This time, arms wrapping around the body. More weight in the brow. Your shoulders collapse over the knees, palms open. Breath full. station, get grounded, become solid, solid like a rock. We're more powerful, more creative when we're back in our bodies, coming to that affirmation. May there be well-being for all. May there be peace for all. May there be fulfillment for all. May there be auspiciousness for all. Peace, peace, peace. Inhale, stretch your arms forward and out. Rock up hands and knees. We're taking downward facing dog. Press into your palms, stretch out through your limbs. Exhale, come down to your knees. All right, thread the needle, flip the left hand, loop it underneath the right arm. I'm going to give you choices here. You can either hug the belly in, push through the right palm to be more active. You can also be more active, looping that right arm behind the back, rolling towards the shoulder blade. But you can also be passive, keeping the right hand down, the right arm behind, but flopping down to the left cheek, dripping through the belly, and landing your weight on the left arm. Right hand slides in, coming back to table. Solidify the hands, curl the toes under, push back to down dog again. Soar your seat up, letting the head go. Coming back to the knees on your next out breath. Flipping the right hand, threading and looping it under the left. And you can be active or passive with your approach to this pose. Let's unwind the right arm. We're going to sit back. And this is where you may want that folded blanket or toss pillow again, because we're straightening out the legs. And we're going to bend the right knee. We're going to grab the underside of the foot and cross it over for half shoelace. Hands placed underneath the top knee to elongate the spine, leaning forward with a straight back if you need it to stay active, or rounding down and flipping the palms open. Now we've opened up the hamstrings. You may be quite surprised at what you're sensing here. Don't worry about it, because the weight bearing of this right leg is going to make it more intense. So yes, you have already been opening it, but this is a much deeper pose to be in. Curl the back, straighten out the right leg, bend the left knee, take the underside of the heel, lace it across, lacing the fingers, lifting the chest, hinging down actively or passively. Away. Now, our final position, I gotta grab my block, is gonna be a supported bridge, but we're gonna bring the arms into the goddess or goalpost arms. So let's roll down, press into the feet, charge into the back of the legs, tighten through the glutes to lift. And then once you sit back down on it, bring the arms into that position. Close your eyes here, rest and breathe. On the next in-breath, we'll bring the hands down beside us. We'll tighten through the buttocks, lift away from the block and remove it. Lower down, cup the knees in with the arms. Now you can determine if you'd rather be in Shavasana, resting on your back, or if you prefer a sitting meditation. Now at the studio, I played a song from that same album of the mantra I shared with you earlier with Tina Turner on it. And it's called Unity. It's a beautiful song. Again, I can't play it because it doesn't translate through Zoom very well, but she's singing Amen a lot. And I just want to remind you, Amen stems from the root word Om. And Amen basically means, and so it is, and let it be so. So let's come home to our body and set it up for Shavasana or meditation. Om. 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 If you're laid out in Shavasana, begin to deepen the flow of your breathing and open up some movement in your body. Join the rest of us who are sitting. Bring your hands to Anjali Mudra, prayer position at your heart. Whatever may be occurring around you, remember that meaning of Amen. So it is. Let it be so.